Alright, so tonight I'm going to make salmon cakes and mashed potatoes and green beans, and super simple, easy to make, really cheap. What I'm going to make tonight will feed 2 people, and actually there'll be a little bit of leftovers, so if you've got a small child you could feed 2 adults and a small child with it, but basically 2 people. What I've got monetarily tied up in this deal is $3 for that, and that's the larger package of salmon. You can buy canned salmon, which I've done and drained it and got all the water off of it, and that's fine, and it's a little bit cheaper that way, but I just like doing it this way. No bones, no skin. It's already, you know, you don't have to drain it or anything. It's me being lazy. Mashed potatoes, $1 a pack, and that's for you know, the normal size, not the family size. Can of green beans, which, you know, we'll call it $1 on that. You can find it on sale. Doesn't matter if you buy name brand or generic, because we're going to doctor it up, or you can doctor it up with salt and pepper, whatever you want, and it'll taste just fine. And then a couple of eggs, and a pack of saltines. So 3, 4, 5, you know, not even $6 tied up in this will feed 2 people for sure. So that's $3 per serving for a full meal. And you know what, if you want a slice of bread and butter with it or something like that, do that for a bread. So we'll get started on this, and I'll show you how to make the salmon and everything. The rest of it's really generic. Some people want gravy on their potatoes. With this particular meal, I don't use gravy, but if you want to throw another another $1 on there and make a gravy pack, it's basically put the gravy in a pan, put water on it, bring it to a boil, reduce the heat, stir it, and it'll thicken up as you stir it. So super easy to make, but I don't eat it with this particular meal. It doesn't need the gravy. So I'll get started on this and show you how easy it is to make. So the first thing we want to do is take these crackers and we want to break them down. I start in the original package and just start kind of crunching them. You have to be careful because the tops of these will pop open and you'll have crackers flying everywhere. So don't squeeze them very hard, and just kind of break them down just to get them started. See, it's already coming open right there. So what I always do is I'll take them after I've broken them down a little bit and go ahead and open it up and get a Ziploc bag. And you can use like a plastic bag from the grocery store or whatever. I just like Ziploc because you don't have to worry about it getting out once you zip it shut. Okay, there's that. And the other thing I found is try to get all the air out of it that you can when you zip it shut. This works better for crunching stuff up. The deal is you're going to want this stuff crunched up basically into a powder like it is down there at the bottom. So it's going to take you a few minutes. But, you know, the finer you make that, see how that's powder down there already? That's how you want this whole thing. The finer you make it, the better the mix will be. So I'll mix it up for a few minutes and we'll go from there. Alright, so and just so you know, I'm going to be kind of redundant in some of these videos. Like, for one thing, we're getting ready to start handling food products, so wash your hands, wash. Me personally, I'm kind of OCD. They say 20 seconds, I do 30 seconds. They say hot or cold, doesn't matter. I wash with hot and rinse with cold because I want to, as weird as it sounds, and it probably doesn't make any difference, I want to open the pores up, get as much out as I can, then rinse in cold to close the pores back up, okay? You can see from me smashing this as much as I did, it's basically turned into a powder, which is what we want. I mean, there's a few little bitty chunks in there, and that's fine, but it's pretty much all powdered down. So we're going to take a bowl here, and we're going to take this salmon and get it opened up. And sometimes there's a couple of drops of water down in that salmon, so I'll hold it over the sink and kind of tip it to see, but this one was good. There's nothing in there, so we're going to get all this salmon out and into the bowl. You want to add the salmon and mix the egg with the salmon, because what you're going to do then is use the cracker powder to firm up the mix. But we don't know how much of that we're going to use yet, so that's the last thing we're going to add. You want to go through with a fork, and kind of like you did with the crackers, you want to just keep on breaking this salmon down until there's no chunks in it at all. It tastes a lot better, and it makes for a lot fluffier salmon cake if you do it this way. You know, you could just break it apart and make them, I guess, but I'll spend 5 minutes just doing this just to get it really broke down a lot before I even start mixing anything together. So I mean, we're getting there. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot. This stuff's already kind of broke down. I don't know what they run it through to do this, but that looks pretty good, really. I mean, that's pretty broke down. There's no big chunks in there. You know, so I think that'll work. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab my eggs. I'm going to use 2 eggs for one of these larger packages of salmon. Give me just a second here. Paper plates are great. I love paper plates. They're not just for picnics anymore. I use them to crack eggs on because I don't want any egg on, you know, my countertop. So get the egg broken. There's one in there. Boom, that's a done deal. And boom, there's 2. That's a done deal. Nothing on the counter. It's all on here. Fold this up. Throw it directly in the trash. Wash my hands. So I'm going to pause for a second because I don't want you sitting there for 30 seconds waiting on me to pause my hands. Give me just a minute here. Alright, hands are good now. We're going to break this egg into this salmon mix, and it's going to look like a gumpy mess. So just thoroughly mix it in real good. Doesn't take but a second. Kind of looks weird like that, but you know, there you go. Alright, so now we got that part done. Easy peasy. Now we're going to start putting in the broken down crackers. So, you know, you're safe putting about half of it in. And then we're going to have to see what it looks like after we stir this in. You want kind of almost like if you're pattying out hamburgers, you know, you kind of want about that consistency. The other thing you can do, which I don't do, my father was diabetic, so, and I hate sodium, I hate salt. I don't put salt in anything, other than if I'm making a steak, I will put sea salt on each side of the steak before I drop it. But other than that, I really don't use salt for anything because all this stuff has so much sodium in it anyways. It doesn't really help to put more in it. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more. I mean, that's pretty close, you know, that's, I mean, you're getting pretty close there. It's hanging on the fork. So, I'm going to put just a little bit more in there. Firm it up just a little bit more. Not much. So you see, out of a pack of crackers, I probably have that much left. And the thing about this stuff, I mean, it's crackers. You know, you don't have any waste with it. Just get the air out of it, roll it up, zip it shut, and you got it for another meal, which I use it for other stuff, and it'll show up in other videos that I make, so no waste there. Alright. You can, you know, if you like different flavors, like you can put some garlic in here, some garlic powder, or you know, you can put a hot spice in it if you like heat. You can put some smoke in it if you like smoked salmon. People do that. So now you see, I mean, it's there. Okay, that's what you want. You want to be able to pick it up with a fork, and I've got it set dead up on end and it's not moving. Okay, here, there, upside down, not moving. Oops, sorry, I was a little high on the camera. So it finally dropped off. Here, do it again. So see, it's what you want. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take all this and we're going to mash it down to the bottom of the bowl. So that it's level on the bottom of the bowl. And you'll see why here in a minute. Alright, so there's that. So basically I've smashed it down to where it's all the way around, level across the bottom of the bowl. Yeah, I like clear bowls, man. You can, I mean, that's pretty good. There's a little there. Anyway, and here again, this is something I'm probably OCD about. You don't really need to worry that much about making it as level as I do, but you can kind of see, I mean, it's pretty level all the way around. So now here's the deal. Okay, a lot of people don't do this. I do. Cover that bad boy, let it set for about 10 minutes, and let all those dry crackers absorb the egg mixture that's in there. Okay, so just leave it alone for a few minutes. It'll be fine, and we're gonna go wash our hands again, because you know that's what we do now. And then when I come back, I'll make the patties, start cooking the patties, make the mashed potatoes, and make the green beans, and then we'll have a meal. All right.